Sofia Exarchou, welcome to this conversation, director of Animal, which is one of our films this year in competition in the first Budapest International Film Festival. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. And of course, the first question is always, how did you find this topic to make this film about professional entertainers at a Greek hotel in an island somewhere who spend their days smiling and dancing and entertaining others, but then you go behind that very, very public life and you show us their private, very, very private moments. So how did you decide to make a movie about these people?
Yes, so I didn't actually start from the idea of entertainment. I actually started from the idea of work. I wanted to make a film about the labor and a hard working system in Greece and in Europe in general today. And then, because I'm Greek, I thought, okay, in my film, my working system is going to be the touristic industry. And I thought about that, and then I said, okay, so I will make a film about the employees of an all-inclusive hotel. So in the beginning, the characters of my script were all kind of employees, not only the animators. It was also the cookers, the cleaners, all that. But then as I was doing the research, I started getting obsessed about the animators and thought that if I focus only on them, then I also put in the center of the narration the idea, the meaning of entertainment, the theme of entertainment, and what it means today also, that we have to entertain people to keep the system rolling, to keep the clients pleased, and this whole universe to keep rolling. And then I also thought that it's quite interesting because I start from an environment that in the surface is glossy, music and cocktails and lights and dancing and all that stuff. And actually holidays that for all of us is nice moment and nice memories. So I start from this kind of surface, and I don't start from a working system which is like a factory or something that we already know from the beginning, or have another idea of its condition. And I say, what if now I open the curtain and I just saw the backstage? I felt that this kind of narration would be something like a punch for the viewer, starting from an environment that he never thought of it in another way, meaning that, so that means that in any working system, if you just open the curtain, you will see something completely different. And I like the idea also, to put the light on these people, on these people that, as you said, they smile for the clients every night and they dance and everything, but actually it's usually like a dolls. Like nobody ever really pay attention who they are or their names or whatever. It's just some dolls there dancing to please us. So I find it interesting to put the light on this film in their lives. For me, it was motivating and it was quite sensitive. So that, I think, it was the beginning of the idea.
You mentioned that work and working systems fascinated you, the idea and in a way the philosophy behind it. Why? What draws you to work?
Because I think that, there are like two, three stuff that, like for me are the, the milestones of capitalism. And one of this is work, it's like this idea of the American dream that, we will all be successful. Actually, one out of, I don't know, a million can have this American dream result in his life. And actually, all the other are workers, who work really hard to keep this capitalistic universe going. So I thought I needed to make a film about that and about these characters. Plus, as I was working on it, as I said, it was also the entertainment, which I also really. It's something that really excited about. I think it's really, really important, how we use entertainment, to keep the people calm and kind of the system. The entertainment helps a lot the system to flow, to keep going. I believe that.
You also studied to become an actress back in New York City. Was this in a way research to become a better director, or you really considered working in front of the camera?
No. Actually, I went only as a director. I understood after my short films that I really enjoy working with actors, and I really believe that this will be the core of my craft and the core of my movies. And I felt that I was quite good, but I was missing the technique. It was like I didn't know the theory behind it, and I felt that how can I be able to elevate my work and the way I want to work and communicate with the actors if I also don't know, all the background and all the theory they have been trained to. So I went to this, which is a very very interesting school because it's Stella Adler. It's actually the same as the actor studio, theory. And in the beginning, the first weeks I was not also so good. So the professor, not good, meaning I couldn't immediately jump into the acting. I was always processing only with my head because that's what I was trained to do. To think how to write the script, how to build up everything, and blah blah. So then the main professor told me, "What do you want? You want me to treat you as a director and just be more like a observator here, or do you want to be like to live it?" And I said, "No, I want to live it in my bones. I don't want to become an actor, but I want to go through the experience of how difficult it is, and how interesting also it is, and how exciting it is, because I think it's a quite exciting profession to be an actor and to embody all these characters and all these things." And I think maybe it was the most important thing I've done for my work and for my craft to study in this school.
Can you recall the moment you first met Dimitra Vlagapoulou? Like she was the actress in your previous film as well. How did you meet? What moved you or towards her? Like why did you choose her? What is your relationship like? Is it like a muse and artist kind of relationship?
Well, it's interesting because I remember the first time I met her, it was when I was doing the auditions for Park for my first film, and immediately when she entered, she was very close to the image of the girl I had for Park for my first film. I want to be quite skinny and quite well built because the idea in Park was that this girl was trained for the gymnastics, so she was really, and she had this kind of body because actually Dimitra also herself, when she was a kid, she was a champion in the gymnastics. So the moment she entered the room, I said, "Oh, it would be really nice if she also can act well," because I really like her face and but she has to act well. So it was interesting that these two things match. I don't think her first audition was perfect, but I understood that she has all the sensitivity because sometimes the first audition is difficult. The actors are nervous. I usually do 3, 4, 5 auditions with somebody, because then we build a relationship, and I want to see different scenes and play with him, to make him feel comfortable, and also for me to believe that he can do, the character. So it was not, all perfect there, but I could sense the sensibilities he has, and that he had also good technique. I could understand that. So that was that. For Animal, actually, I was not so sure for only one reason. She was perfect regarding the dancing skills because she's a dancer also, and her body and also her sensibility, as I said before. I was a bit afraid because Dimitra is very introvert. That was the only thing I was afraid of. She's very shy, very low key, very introvert as a personality. And I thought it was quite huge, the metamorphosis to become Kaya, because Kaya in the script is really loud, really extrovert, and she has this dynamic. And that was the reason I was not sure if I had to go with Dimitra. And then when we said, okay, we want to do it together, one of the biggest part in our rehearsals was how to bring all the small details of Kaya in Dimitra. So we changed her voice, speaking 2 octaves down to look more bass, more strong. We found this laugh she has in the movie, this strong laugh, these lines like beautiful. So we created piece by the hair are fake, the makeup is, everything that we did was just to help Dimitra to understand all the little details and construct this character. And of course, she did a very good job with that.
In the film, you have it seems that you have three archetypes of women. You have the three ages. You have Kalia, who is 30 something. You have the 17-year-old girl, very interesting character, Eva. And you have this tiny girl, this child, who is there in this troop, so to speak, like she is born into this world. All throughout the film, I had this dreaded feeling that something terrible would happen to either the child or Eva, and I was fascinated by this mastery that you display here, because you just simply don't go there. Like, I don't know whether it was something um, uh, very, very deliberate on your part. Did you ever consider a different ending or some terrible event happening to these vulnerable women, or it was just not at all in the picture?
Well, there are a couple of things that are interesting to what you're asking me. The one thing is that this feeling of something difficult will happen, which was also something that people were telling me for this film, but also for my previous film. And what I think it's happening there is the experience of kind of viscerally and really realistically, really raw presenting a universe. When you present this universe, which actually it exists, but when you present it with that clarity and that realism, then the people say, "Oh, but every moment it's dangerous," which is actually true. Like for the kids in park, like similar kids living in so out of society neighborhoods and in this violent environment, yes, every moment is a moment that maybe something will be at risk. Somebody will get hurt, there's gonna be an incident and stuff. And this happens. And many of them manage not to happen this moment. So for me, the interesting thing in that is to confront the viewer with this feeling that how these people live there. Every moment is dangerous. Maybe Kaya will be harassed now. And this creates already the feeling, this means that probably she was already harassed. So it creates also, the backstory, all the past is coming in the face of the audience. So for me, this is an important, this experience that these people live in this kind of edge all the time. For me, it's not so interesting to create this event, to have actually an event. I know that I would like make my life easier by putting some important events, because then my narration would be more easy to build up and say, like in plot point one, it will happen this and then this and then this, and because of this stuff happens what happens. I don't want to make a spoiler now for the people in the festival. But for me, it's mostly the most important, and that was from the beginning, was what is the journey of this character? What it means to arrive at this moment after years and understand that something is completely wrong with your life, with your work, with your kind of family, because it's her family, these people around here. Actually, it's her only family the last years. What is the journey that the person goes through when it starts feeling something? And of course, he wants to reject this idea that, no, I'm okay, and what is all that? And what is it forever? What's the experience of coming from another country and you want to believe that now I will find an identity, I will find a home, I will find money, and this kind of fun environment with that starts, okay, let's dance, let's make the ancient columns and make this dance become something else when you discover it. So for me, that's that's what motivates me, to show these moments to the audience. And I know it's difficult, and I know that people can say, but okay, but what happened in this movie? And it was a lot of times when I was writing the film, but I said, okay, but there's not even one big incident. I mean, maybe there is one, but still, if we say, what is this one incident? It's quite small. Even the biggest incident in the film, it's quite small. And probably the viewers think that probably she has had other incidents much more dangerous or difficult before we start the movie. So why this director, instead of showing us these big events, focus that? Because for me, that was the interesting part of her journey and the most sensitive, to explore.
the film takes place on an island, like a place of both isolation and escape in a way. Was it an important symbol for you when you were scouting for locations, or did you were you looking for a specific island or a specific place, or was there anything that made it really, really central for you to make it happen on an island?
I like the idea of an island for many reasons. First of all, in Greece we have so many islands, meaning it's part of our
it's
land, this
it's
idea of the
hard it's
islands,
hard not
first
to
of
it's
all.
hard not to make a film on an island.
Yes, being a Greek director, it's kind of impossible. Anyway, no, the truth is, I like the idea of an island being I like in my movies not to have a specific place and time. I like this feeling that maybe the movie is on this island, but maybe it's on another island. Maybe it's a Greek island, but maybe it could be also a Spanish island or an island in Latin America, that these entertainers could work, a resort in Greece or a cruise boat on the Atlantic Ocean. I like this idea that actually the way I build it, it can be here or there. And also with the time, it can be today, it could be 20 years later. There's no cell phones. I try to avoid some technology things that will kind of betray my effort. So in that context, I like that this should be an island. I like the idea that this is confined. These people are on that island almost mostly for the confinement of it and not so much about the escape. That my characters are in this island and they're kind of there forever, and around them there is sea, and the only escape is just to go to swim until the sea, which is quite important in their environment. As a matter of artistic approach, there was a specific island in which we shot, and that's Creta. I visited quite a few islands to decide, but kind of the beginning I knew it's gonna be Creta because I like the colors of Creta because it has this kind of quite brownish and yellowish that creates this feeling of desert, and also the beaches, but also the mainland. And I think that was quite suitable with my film, and this where they're gonna live by the beach. So I felt that Creta is gonna be my island. And when I found also this place, this is actually an army place where it's the houses of the animators. When I found this place with the fence that is by the sea and all the apartments are the same and was very close to what I imagined, then I knew that I have to shoot the movie in Creta.
Tell me about the title. Is it animal? Like it's animal. Is it the same word in Greek, or is it just a play with words of anima and animators, or is there something more to it when you say animal? You immediately think of the animal world.
Well, it's not similar in Greek, this word of games between anima, which is soul, and animal, which is the animal. But what it's the same is, so the beginning of my idea for the title started from the word anima, which is soul. And then I realized that animators, my characters in the film, the word animator comes from the word anima. So animators are the people who give soul, meaning who give energy, who give love, who give excitement to the clients. In Greek, that's also the same. So the way we call them animators, we have a Greek word for them, has also the soul inside. We call them emψυχωτές. Psyche is soul, and psychotes are again the guys, the people who give soul. So I find it really interesting how we present this profession, the people who give soul, Actually, they give their whole soul for the other people to have some soul. So all this idea was, I was thinking about this idea of this word, and then I said, but what if I put then in anima in the end an L? Then anima becomes animal. And then I not only talk about the conditions of this place, this animalistic and kind of rough condition, but I also talk about, and even more important, about the struggle of my characters, of Kalia, of Eva, how they move from the anima and the animal all the time and how they struggle between these words. So then I thought, okay, I will start the movie, I will put the title animal, and then I will kind of fast fade the letter L. So when you see the title, you see animal, but then L goes away and you stay a little bit with animal, which is the soul. Yeah, that's it. But
Uh,
on all languages and in all countries, that's the title. We don't change it because this word of game exists only in English.
yeah. When we were corresponding before this conversation, you mentioned that you are about to travel to a film festival to become a member of a jury. And I was wondering, as a director, as a successful director, what are you looking for in films? Like, what do you reward in films? What is it that speaks to you when you watch a film?
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm happy that I still enjoy so much watching films. I don't enjoy so much when I work, like when I'm shooting or when I'm editing. It's quite difficult to watch films because if you spend 10, 12 hours per day working on the images, it's very difficult then to have even, the energy to watch something on your screener. What I enjoy a lot getting inspired by things. I like to see things I've never imagined. I think that's one of the beauties of cinema, that sometimes you see a moment or an image or a character or even an image you have seen, but you never thought of this image in that sense, or a detail you never notice, or a feeling that takes you back to your childhood, or gives you a slap in the face. So I think for me that's this surprise when you enter a theater and then something happens in the movie, and this surprise of whatever beauty, ugliness, roughness, the ideas, whatever. This surprise for me is something that always gets me excited.
When you made this film, or even today, when you think about the viewer, uh, what would you like this viewer to take home from the film watching this? What is it that you would like to give us, in a sense?
Well, regarding ideas, I don't want to be so particular. Meaning, I think the movie has quite a lot of layers, and things that that then you go back and you can think about the three girls, that they're like a triangle of women, and maybe it's one woman. You can think about what is entertainment. You can think about Greek identity and how it's Greece today, or how it's work in general, or your own life, being in the same profession for years. I don't know, and that's all there, and I don't want specifically somebody to take something specifically, because I know that also myself, when I watch a film, I will identify myself mostly with things that speaks to my heart, and that's for me totally okay. But what I would like for this movie is a little bit from the beginning, the viewer to put aside, the normal way of expecting the movie to go, like, oh, what's gonna happen next, what is the movie about, when it's gonna be the big event, whatever, and just let himself go with this roller coaster of these characters, and follow the feelings of them and follow their moments, and stay in these moments. And I think this is what I enjoy, and I realize that when people watch the film like that, I think they get satisfied. If they start questioning why this movie is not exactly how I would expect to be a movie about animals in a hotel, that there must be a rape or there must be a bad manager in the hotel who's going to be the bad guy, and don't let yourself allow the experience and then go back home and say, oh, okay, the bad guy was the system. Now I get it. But the moment you see it, you're not so opposed to the idea of the film. I think, for me, that's the important.
Any future projects? Anything you can talk about? Anything that interests you at the moment or engages?
I'm writing, yes, but I'm on this sensitive period that I cannot express it yet with words.
But you're
Yeah.
working on something to come.
Yeah, I'm working on something and I'm enjoying it now, because I'm in such early stage that everything is possible, Have no producer to tell me, this is too expensive or this is impossible. So it's the moment of inspiration. I can write whatever I like and then things will change, of course, completely, but okay.